welcome to another book review, and today we will be discussing Glimmer of the Other by Heather G. Harris. Now, this book came in the Butterfly Book Club box for February, and it's only a short one, so we'll get right into it. Now, one of the things that I love about the book boxes is that most of the books that come in them, I never would have picked up in the bookshop if I'd have seen it. And this falls into that category because I think I even said it when I was unboxing it. The artwork, there's something about it that just didn't, gel yet. Although I do love this artwork better than the normal covers artwork. Hell of a lot better. This is lot better. Although one of the things I don't like on it, which is rare for a special edition book, is I don't like the hardcover. I'm not so keen on the sprayed edges either. And the interior artwork is alright. So with that in mind, let's get into the blurb and find out what it's all about. And I shall be reading the blurb from my screen over there. I can tell when you're lying every single time. I'm Jinx. As a private investigator, being a walking, talking lie detector is a useful skill. But let's face it, it's not normal. You'd think it would make my job way too easy, but even with my weird skills, I still haven't been able to track down my parents' killers. When I'm hired to find a missing university student, I hope to find her propped up at a bar. Yet my gut tells me there's more to this case than a party girl gone wild. Firstly, she's a bookish soul who's as likely to go off the rails as Mother Teresa. If that was the same for all bookish souls, dark romance wouldn't exist. Secondly, I'm not the only one on her trail. She's also being tracked by the implacable and oh-so-sexy Inspector Stone. Stone and I team up and he shoves me into a realm where magic is real. A place where there are vampires and werewolves, dragons and trolls. And where my skills are more than just detecting lies. Oh, and my dog? He's a freaking hellhound who can manipulate the magical realms themselves. I need to find the girl. I need to discover who killed my parents. And I need to find out more about the attractive but mysterious Zachary Stone. So that's the blurb for it. And I stand by it. If I had found this in a bookshop and if the cover interested me, as this might have done if it was lying there, the blurb probably wouldn't. Now, I read this in a day. I was sat out in the garden and going in, because the blurb was a bit for me, I thought, you know what, I'm probably not going to like it. The only reason I picked it to read is because it is small and because I wasn't so keen on the sprayed edges or the interior artwork. I thought if I get it read and I find out I don't like it, which I think I'm not going to like it, then I can get it on eBay and sold and off my very crowded bookshelf. But that wasn't to be the case because I sat down and ploughed through it in a day. I think it was about 6 or 7 hours I got through this without any interruptions. And it's just over 300 pages, so it ain't a little thing. And I'll say it right now, this book got 3 stars from me. Because there are some problems I found. And you know me, I'm all about criticising, but the info dumping was outrageous. You get to page 30 and that is after the opening scene has her up a tree investigating a husband whose wife has employed her because the wife thinks that he's cheating on her and he isn't, is actually screwing a fox plushie. That's your first page. That's your introduction into this book. And it was an introduction, but there's so much info dumping. So that was on page 1. The info dumping starts on page 30 and it doesn't let up. and it is just constant bombardment with world building. As soon as Stone shoves Jinx into this other magical realm, which is called the Other, there is no let up in the info cramming, dumping that going on. It is just constant after all the time, and it just slow down a bit, let me and her process it. That's why world building is supposed to be meted out during the story in bite-sized chunks for you to feel that you are part of that world, not just poof, there you go, deal with it. No, I didn't like it. And also the whole skydiving segment that's about, I would say, the middle of the book. Jinx has to go skydiving. She used to go skydiving, and to get this lead, she has to do it again. She loves it, and you can tell that the author loves skydiving and has done it herself, because the amount of detailed description that doesn't need to be there is outrageous. I think it goes on for about 10 pages. That might be a little bit of an over exaggeration, but it's more than 5. But it's the detail that they have that you can tell that somebody has actually done it, and we just didn't need it. It didn't need that. It need to be there. It didn't need to be there for the plot. You could just say that she was skydiving. You don't need to go into all the technical aspects, because there was more technical aspects in the skydiving segment than there was in the entire rest of the plot. And don't even get me started on character building, because that's the other thing. And the main issue I have is with our main character being Jinx. Like I said, Jinx is thrown into this other magical realm called the Other. I know, couldn't think of any other name for it. But she's chucked into this world. She has no reaction. No reaction. She finds out everything that she knew is a lie, and we get no reaction. She encounters creatures that she only thought were in fairy tales and myths, and we get no reaction until she sees a dragon. But then she's a little bit drunk, so. She is completely unfazed about everything that happens to her. So much so, there's a fine line between a character acting like it doesn't matter and their internal monologue just going crazy. We are in her internal monologue and she is unfazed. There is nothing happening. She, as a character, I would say she strays too far into could be quite sociopathic, if it wasn't for the empathy that is shoved down our throats that she has. That is the only thing that saves her from being a complete sociopath, because there is no emotion, there is no reaction, there is nothing there. There's a scene, right? There's a scene to back this up. Her and her partner, this Zachary Stone, that she kind of likes. She's only met him a few days previous, and she thinks he's good looking, and she likes spending time with him. And he's got that bad boy look going on about him. And everybody that they encounter in this world is terrified of him. Terrified of him. And there's no explanation why, but it's supposed to give him sort of this dangerous aura that it really doesn't give him. It's just But there's at one point where they're both going to interview a vampire, this lord of the vampire clan up in Manchester. They're in the waiting room, and Zach's and Stone's at a wall, and Jinx is just sort of near the chair. And the vampire comes out, not the one that they're going to see. The vampire walks out, clocks her, and goes for her to attack her. And Zachary, faster than the speed of light, gets over there and just chops his head off. The vampire goes to dust, and the dust is disposed of. Now, in all this, you would think that she would at least be a little bit shocked. But no. Our emotionless character here has no reaction whatsoever. Just like oh yeah, that did happen. Yes, it happened. He beheaded a vampire right in front of you, and you have no reaction. This vampire was going to come and kill you, and you just did. You feel nothing. You have nothing. It strayed too far into being unbelievable, and it's like, well, I know it's fiction, and I know it's not supposed to be reality, but there are fucking limits. Because, come on, she's not superhuman. Although she a little bit is, but she's still technically human. She doesn't have fast reflexes, and she ain't immortal. So you just don't care that you've just been attacked, that a vampire could kill you, and not to mention that the guy you've been swooning over in your thoughts for the past 2 days, ever since you met him, just casually lopped somebody's head off and turned them to dust, and then just got rid of it. Make it make sense. And then we get the ending. There are so many things I could say about the ending. It was rushed. Way too rushed. And yes, it is 300 pages, and yes, the ending was still rushed. And it was over in the blink of an eye. And you're left like, what? Just what the fuck? What happened? Because you missed it. You blinked and you missed it. And you get no explanation as to what happened, so you blink and you really, really do miss it. We have Jinx running all over the place, trying to gather up as much forces as she can for this big battle that's going on at the end. And these are people that she's never interacted with. They don't know her. She doesn't know them, but somehow they're all on her side with absolutely no resistance at all. They don't even question why they're going to help her, or even question who she is. And she doesn't even have to do any persuading. They just do it. Like she's a damsel in distress, and all the male characters have to go to her rescue, because I don't think there are any major female characters in this. I can't remember, but I don't think there are. They're all male and they all flock to her. It's one of them. And so there's all this build up for this battle. You're going around gathering all these forces, and you finally end up at the battle site with Jinx in tow, ready for battle. And by the time you get there, it's already halfway over. There's death, and the amount of character plot armor that every single character has that you meet is ridiculous. You get there, and there's already halfway through the battle, and you're left there like, and she knows what's going on. How can she know what's going on when she hasn't been there? And we haven't been there, so we don't know what's going on. And the amount of plot armor that Jinx herself has is just ridiculous. She's not an immortal character. She has powers, and it happens, and she uses them, and other people use their powers to help her, but it's like, what? Come on now. So if you have not realised this, I went into this fully prepared not to like it. The blurb seemed more than a little bit cliched, as did the artwork and the book going in. A bit predictable, a bit easy. And although, yeah, it is all of the above. It is cliched, predictable, and the characters have it easy. Did I enjoy my time reading it? Yes. I must have been in the mood for it, because it was alright. Like I said, I read it straight through in a day, and I did more or less enjoy my time in this world. There could have been a bit more, like with all the info dumping at the beginning with the world, there was not enough description of the actual events that we were witnessing. We're told so much instead of experiencing it or being shown. We're just told that that's how it is. Just we don't need that. We're not stupid. And it is an entertaining read if you're not expecting a really deep plot with deep characters. It's quite surface level, but it's quite fun anyway. And now I am going to read the sequel, because the way that this book leaves off, cliffhanger is an understatement. It just shuts off. You don't get any explanation for the fallout of the battle, which you're kind of needing, given what happens, which I'm not going to go into because this is spoiler free. But I want my explanation. I want my info dumping at the back of the book where it's supposed to be. And I didn't get that. I hope the only reason I'm going to read the next book is hoping that I get the explanation for the battle in the second book. If I don't, I am going to be extremely annoyed. But yeah, 3 stars. It was an alright read. I enjoyed my time and I am going to read the second one. So if you've read this or any others by the author, because when I went on Goodreads, this is book 1 in a 7-book series. I might be in it for the long haul. You never know. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. And as always, keep reading.
The moonlight's soft embrace, dark star sips with calm and grace. Wine flows like whispers, secrets told, in the night where dreams unfold.